The traditional 9 to 5 office might be, well, completely dead, but the physical office building certainly isn't.
No, not at all. It's just entirely different now.
Right. I mean, think about your own modern hybrid workplace for a second. You probably have this really fluid environment where employees are just coming and going at all hours.
Mm-hmm. Maybe some of your team is only there on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, or you've got a few engineers calling a late night shift on a weekend, and then your remote contractors might only drop by once a month for an all hands meeting.
Which is great for the workforce. The flexibility is amazing.
It really is, but it raises a massive, honestly, a really complex question. How do you actually protect a physical space, your highly sensitive company data, and all that expensive hardware when the people authorized to use it are rarely all in the building at the exact same time?
That's the challenge. The entire perimeter of the workplace has entirely shifted.
Because relying on a receptionist at the front desk and, a deadbolt that gets turned at 5 p.m., that just doesn't work when your workforce is decentralized.
It absolutely fails. Security can't be static anymore. It really has to be as fluid and adaptable as the schedules of the people using the building.
And that fundamental shift is the mission of our deep dive today. We are unpacking the unique security challenges of hybrid workplaces.
Yeah, diving into how organizations can effectively manage access.
Exactly, deploying modern surveillance and enforcing security policies without just completely suffocating their teams. And to get to the bottom of this, we've pulled together a truly fascinating stack of sources for you today.
We really have. We're looking at physical security pricing guides, some highly technical biometric IT installation manuals.
Which get pretty dense, but they're fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Plus, high-rise security protocols designed specifically for major metropolitan areas, and industry trend reports looking at the future of commercial locksmithing and access control.
Okay, let's unpack this, and I think we should start with the literal front door.
What's fascinating here is how the physical brass key has rapidly transitioned from, a standard business tool to a massive operational liability.
A total liability. Handing out physical keys in a hybrid setup is a logistical nightmare.
It really is. I mean, if an employee who only visits the office twice a month loses a key, or maybe they leave the company on bad terms.
The facility manager is basically forced to rekey the entire building to maintain any semblance of security.
Right, which is incredibly slow and extremely expensive.
And beyond the security risk, the friction is just annoying. No one wants to carry around a heavy, jingling ring of brass keys anymore.
No, we're way past that.
So the industry shift is moving heavily toward flexible scheduling of access permissions and temporary mobile credentials. But let's be honest about the early days of mobile entry. It was often terrible.
Oh, it was the worst.
You would stand outside a glass door in the rain, just waving your phone around, waiting for a spotty Bluetooth connection to finally recognize you. Have the sources found a system that actually solves that frustration?
Yeah, they actually have. The access control documentation we reviewed for the Avigilon Alta system, which the industry formerly knew as OpenPath, addresses that exact pain point.
Oh, OpenPath, right, I've heard of them. What are they doing differently?
They utilize a patented technology called triple unlock. So instead of relying on a single point of failure like just Bluetooth, this system races Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular data signals all simultaneously the exact moment you approach the door.
Wait, it races them.
Yeah. Whichever signal reaches the cloud server and verifies your credential first is the one that unlocks the mechanism.
Okay, racing the signals against each other is a brilliant workaround for dead zones.
It completely eliminates the delay.
Because the documentation notes that this specific approach achieves a 99.9% reliability rate, which is huge. And they even lean into the convenience factor with this wave to unlock touchless feature.
That's my favorite part.
Right. An employee can just leave their phone in their pocket or their backpack, walk up to the door, physically wave their hand in front of the reader, and the door opens. It removes the friction entirely.
It does. But if you read through the LA City Locksmith source, the benefits seem heavily weighted toward the employer's control rather than just the employee's convenience.
How so?
Well, scalability is the real advantage cloud-based access provides. Think about tech startups or really any business dealing with a fluctuating hybrid workforce.
Right, they're constantly onboarding freelancers or bringing in temporary consultants.
Or hosting clients. With a cloud-based system, an administrator can instantly text or email a temporarily mobile credential to a freelancer's phone for, say, a 2-week project.
And then what?
The precise moment that 2 weeks is up, the credential mathematically evaporates. It's just gone.
That is amazing. There is no physical hardware to track down or retrieve.
Exactly, allowing businesses to adapt their physical security at the absolute speed of software.
But implementing something that advanced isn't exactly a DIY weekend project for an office manager.
Oh, definitely not.
Treating a commercial door like a node on a computer network requires specialized integration, which is actually why we're partnering with West Point Locksmith for this deep dive. If you are a business owner or a property manager in the Los Angeles area and you're realizing your current brass key setup is a disaster waiting to happen, you need to call West Point Locksmith at 310-295-4040.
They really are the experts in this transition.
They boast stellar 5-star reviews and provide fast, reliable professional service for businesses transitioning to digital access. From emergency lockouts to full smart lock upgrades, they are available 295 to keep your business secure. Again, that's West Point Locksmith at 310-295-4040.
Upgrading that front door to digital access solves the initial entry problem, definitely. But it immediately introduces the second major challenge of the hybrid era.
Which is what happens once they're inside.
Or, more importantly, when they aren't. The dynamic completely changes.
Yeah, consider a 10,000 square foot office on a Friday afternoon where maybe only 3 people decided to actually commute in. You have massive sprawling sections of the facility that are essentially unwatched by human eyes for hours or even days at a time.
It's completely empty.
Right. So how does a company know the space is actually secure when the natural surveillance of a bustling office is just gone?
Well, monitoring those spaces requires a fundamental evolution in how we use cameras. Modern surveillance has moved far beyond passively recording video to a hard drive, to be reviewed only after a break-in has already occurred.
Because at that point, it's too late.
Exactly. It relies on active intelligence now.
Yeah.
The high-rise building security source highlighted this perfectly when it was discussing the persistent threat of tailgating or piggybacking.
Oh, right. We all know the standard tailgating scenario, someone just holding the door for a stranger behind them out of politeness.
It happens every day.
But in a hybrid office, that threat is magnified tenfold. If I only come into the office on the first Tuesday of the month, I have absolutely no idea who my actual coworkers are.
You've never met them.
Exactly. I am far more likely to casually hold a secure door open for an intruder because I just assume they're a new hire
Or they just work on a different floor. That lack of familiarity is a massive vulnerability.
Yeah.
In a fully staffed traditional office, a stranger wandering the halls really stands out.
People notice.
They do. But in a mostly empty hybrid environment, an intruder who tailgates their way in can explore server rooms and executive suites completely unchallenged.
So how are businesses combating that?
They are integrating AI-powered analytics directly into their CCTV and smart sensor networks. The cameras are actively interpreting the scene in real time.
Wow, so they aren't just recording, they're watching.
Right. If the AI detects someone loitering near a restricted IT closet for an unusual amount of time, or it recognizes the specific physical movements of a forced entry attempt, it instantly pushes an alert to security personnel.
The integration between these disparate systems is where the real power lies. According to the West Point Locksmith documentation, tying your cloud-based access control directly into your CCTV network changes the entire security posture of a building.
It creates a closed loop.
Exactly. Every single time a keycard, a fob, or a mobile credential is used at a door, the camera automatically bookmarks that specific event. It creates a seamless, airtight audit trail.
Which is huge for investigations.
Right. If a credential is swiped at 2 a.m. on a Sunday, the system logs the badge number and instantly attaches a high-definition video clip of exactly who was holding that phone or badge.
So the classic borrowed badge scenario, where an employee just gives their card to a friend to grab something from their desk, becomes immediately obvious and trackable.
You can't hide it.
No. But security monitoring in a hybrid setup extends far beyond just stopping human intruders, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
The physical space itself is incredibly vulnerable to the elements when left unattended.
Yes, the transcript from the Wayne Winton video brought up a truly terrifying scenario regarding those environmental threats. He focused on properties located in climates that experience harsh winters, like Colorado, but the principle really applies anywhere.
Absolutely. Think about a heating system failure over a long 4-day holiday weekend when the entire staff is working remotely. It's basically a ticking time bomb.
Because nobody is there to notice the temperature inside the commercial space beginning to plummet?
Right. Without a bustling office of people complaining that it's freezing, the pipes can easily freeze and burst.
And a company could return on Tuesday morning to find a massive flood has completely destroyed their servers, ruined their physical inventory, and caused millions of dollars in water damage.
Which could ruin a business. This is where smart environmental sensors come in. They monitor that climate control continuously, alerting facility managers to temperature drops or moisture detection the second it happens, long before a pipe actually bursts.
So security ultimately means protecting the asset, whether the threat is a sophisticated corporate spy or just a busted 2-inch water main.
Exactly. Protection is protection.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Because the employees are working remotely, the security administrators are now remote too. We have reached an era where facility managers are essentially running the physical security of a building from their couch.
The administrative side of facility management has undergone a complete revolution. Historically, managing a physical space demanded a physical presence.
You had to be there.
You had to be on-site to issue a key or check a lock or let a vendor in. Now, administrators manage permissions, review camera footage, and monitor environmental activity via cloud-based dashboards from anywhere in the world with an internet connection.
The Safe and Sound Security Pricing Guide offered an incredibly detailed contrast between the old way of doing things and this new cloud-based reality.
It's a stark difference.
Take basic keypad systems, for example. They look incredibly attractive on a spreadsheet because they might only cost $500 to $2,500 a door up front.
Which sounds great to an accountant.
Right, but they offer zero accountability. Every single employee punches in the exact same 4-digit code.
And the hidden cost of those systems is the administrative nightmare they create. Imagine an HR director managing 5 different regional office locations. An employee resigns abruptly, and suddenly the IT or security manager has to physically get in their car.
Oh man, the drive.
Right. They have to drive across the city or even the state to 5 different buildings to manually punch in new master codes on every single keypad.
And until that agonizing drive is finished, every building remains completely vulnerable to that former employee.
Exactly. Cloud-based systems eliminate that entire drive.
Now, the upfront cost is definitely higher. The guide estimates about $2,000 to $3,500 per door over a 5-year total cost of ownership. But the return on investment comes from drastically reducing that administrative overhead, often by 30 to 40%.
It's a massive time saver.
Because an administrator simply logs into a secure dashboard on their laptop from their living room, clicks a single button, and that former employee's access is globally revoked across every building in less than a second.
The top 10 locksmith trends source summarize this operational shift perfectly. The industry is now treating physical locks exactly like computer networks. A smart lock is just an endpoint on a network.
It's just an IP address.
Pretty much. From that same smartphone dashboard, an administrator can trigger a global lockdown of an entire premises in an active emergency, manage highly customized access schedules for different departments, and receive push notifications the exact moment an unauthorized entry is attempted.
But treating a door like a computer network means you can't just hire a neighborhood handyman with a drill to screw a lock into a frame. You need an IT-level integrator.
Absolutely. Implementing remote, cloud-based management systems requires a sophisticated understanding of network protocols, IP addressing, and low-voltage wiring.
It's highly technical.
The technician is pulling electrical wire through commercial walls to power these mini computers. They also have to navigate really complex life safety fire codes.
Oh, like with the mag locks.
Yes. For instance, if a building uses heavy magnetic locks on its glass entryways, the system must be wired to automatically cut power and disengage those mag locks the millisecond a fire alarm is pulled, ensuring people can actually escape. That integration is highly specialized.
Which brings us directly back to our partner, West Point Locksmith. They operate exactly at that intersection of physical security and complex IT integration.
And that's exactly who you want handling this.
With their 5-star reviews, they are the trusted experts for implementing these precise cloud-based systems for multi-site management across Los Angeles. They give business owners that unified control of all their properties from a single, easy-to-use interface, handling all the low-voltage wiring and compliance issues. They are fast, reliable, and available 24/7. Call them at 310-295-4040 to modernize your business's security infrastructure. Again, that's 310-295-4040.
You know, if we connect this to the bigger picture, every piece of advanced cloud technology, the AI-driven cameras, And the seamless mobile credentials we've discussed are entirely useless if the human beings interacting with them create
It's
vulnerabilities.
always the humans.
Always. The human element consistently remains the weakest link in any security chain.
You could install a $10,000 military-grade biometric scanner on a side door, but if an employee props that door open with a fire extinguisher because they don't want to scan their badge when they come back from a coffee run.
Which happens all the time.
Right. Your multi-million-dollar security posture is just reduced to zero. Policy and employee education really have to evolve alongside the hardware.
The transcript featuring security expert Jeff Moss hammered this point home regarding physical cybersecurity. He stressed the absolute necessity of keeping a company's server room on a completely standalone system.
Meaning off the main network.
Yes. Nobody, not even the CEO of the company, should possess a master key or a global mobile credential that casually opens the server room door unless it is a sheer, heavily documented emergency.
So security must be aggressively layered to protect the most vital assets from simple human error or internal malicious threats.
Precisely. And getting remote and hybrid employees to understand and respect those layers requires robust education.
The high-rise security source dedicated a significant section to the necessity of tenant and resident awareness programs. Facility managers can't just install AI cameras and assume the job is done.
You can't just set it and forget it.
No, they have to actively train their fluctuating workforce on how to recognize suspicious activity in a half-empty building. Employees need really clear instructions on how to use anonymous reporting tools if they witness someone tailgating or acting strangely without feeling like they're just being paranoid.
Because fostering a culture of security is incredibly delicate. And when a company decides to introduce advanced, invasive technology like biometrics into that culture, they really must navigate a minefield of privacy concerns and strict legal compliance.
Let's play devil's advocate for a moment here. If I am an employee who values my privacy, I do not want my employer scanning my face or taking my fingerprints just so I can get into the break room to make a cup of coffee.
Most people wouldn't.
The Shift Biometric IT Security Guide dove deep into this friction. If a company implements biometric access, they are legally bound by privacy laws like the CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act.
And CCPA compliance transforms how a business handles employee data. A company must establish incredibly clear consent procedures, explaining in plain language exactly what biometric data is being collected, why it is actually necessary for security, and precisely when it will be permanently destroyed once the employee leaves the company.
It can't just live on a server forever.
No. The data itself must be handled with extreme care, utilizing heavily encrypted storage for the biometric templates.
It's probably worth clarifying for anyone concerned about this tech. A modern biometric template is not a photograph of your face or a literal image of your fingerprint just sitting in a desktop folder.
That's a huge misconception.
Right. It is a complex mathematical representation of your physical features. It's heavily encrypted and entirely useless to a hacker trying to reverse engineer your actual face.
Exactly.
Still, proactively educating employees on how their personal data is mathematically protected is the only way to get them to accept the system without feeling like a surveillance state is watching their every move.
Finding that equilibrium is the ultimate challenge for any business leader or facility manager today. The mandate is to secure the facility against escalating threats without turning the modern collaborative office into a high-friction, maximum security prison.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, whether you are running a startup, managing a corporate facility, or just trying to understand why your office door uses an app now? How do organizations apply all of this without making their employees absolutely hate coming into the office?
Well, Safe and Sound Security Source outlined a brilliant framework for this. They call it a hybrid credential strategy.
I love that concept.
It's very practical. The core philosophy is applying the appropriate level of security to the appropriate space.
Right. Placing a highly sensitive, slow-reading retinal scanner on the door to the employee break room is massive overkill.
It causes daily friction, frustrates the staff, and is honestly a spectacular waste of the security budget.
Because high-friction biometrics are astronomically expensive, sometimes costing upwards of $10,000 or more per door just for the hardware and installation, a business would just burn through capital trying to secure an entire commercial footprint that way.
They really would. The intelligent modern strategy relies on standard card or mobile credentials, the frictionless wave-to-unlock technology we discussed earlier, for about 90% of the building's footprint.
So the main lobby, the elevator banks, the general open plan workspaces, and the restrooms.
Exactly. Allow the hybrid workforce to move seamlessly and efficiently through their normal day.
And then the organization reserves the expensive, high-friction, heavily encrypted biometrics strictly for the 2 or 3 highest-risk access points in the entire facility.
Right. We're talking about the IT server rooms, the on-site data centers, or the specific executive suites where sensitive, unreleased intellectual property and legal documents are physically stored.
That layered approach represents the sweet spot of modern facility management. It guarantees frictionless movement for daily collaborative work, keeping employee morale high and operational movement efficient, while simultaneously throwing a technological vault around the crown jewels of the company.
It's the only way to balance it.
And striking that perfect balance between convenience and absolute lockdown is exactly why you need true professionals who understand the nuance of both the hardware and the software. We're giving one last shout out to West Point Locksmith for sponsoring this deep dive. They are the fast, reliable 247 locksmiths serving all of Los Angeles.
They really understand this layered approach.
They specialize in the exact layered security we've been talking about, everything from standard car key replacements to installing high-security biometrics and ensuring complex Maglock fire compliance. They know how to secure your business the right way without disrupting your workflow. Call them at 310-295-4040. Keep your workplace safe and compliant. Call 310-295-4040.
Managing a physical facility in a world where the workforce is largely invisible half the week is a brave new world.
It requires an entirely new playbook. To wrap it all up, here is the bottom line you need to take away from this. Hybrid workplaces require a smarter approach to security, one that combines technology, policies, and monitoring to protect your business no matter where your employees are working.
And just to leave you with something to think about, consider the rise of behavioral biometrics mentioned in the margins of our sources today.
Oh, that stuff is wild.
It really is. These are experimental security systems that don't just scan your static face, but actively analyze your unique typing rhythm on a keyboard or your specific walking gait down a hallway to continuously verify your identity in real time. If our smart buildings and cloud networks are constantly learning our subtle physical habits just to grant us access to a room, at what point does our workplace know our physical behaviors better than we know them ourselves?
Now that is a wild thought to leave on. Thank you so much to you, our listener, for joining us on this deep dive into the source material today. We love exploring these massive shifts in technology with you. Until next time, stay curious and stay secure.